So the question was there a moment I realized I had to change? That I had to go sober up, clean up, show up, dress up, whatever you want to call it. And yes, there was a moment. You know, I'd come home from a bar or wherever the hell I was, fighting with my ex-wife, and I come home, she was gone, the dogs were gone, the kids were gone. And I thought, I'm turning into the man my father was. My father died when I was 7 and abandoned us in that way as an alcoholic. I know that's a bit harsh to say, but the reality is, I did the same thing with my family. I become my father. And due to the shock when I come home and there I was, in the house all by myself, I thought, I got to do something about this. And over the years, I'd heard about phoning Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's exactly what I did, and sobered up from there. Now, did I get all that back? Everybody always wants their wife back, their kids back, you know, everything back. Well, fortunately, I didn't get that back. I got my kids back, and I got my life back. I didn't get my wife back. And I'm glad, because there's sometimes that you have to go ahead. You have to change. And it wasn't to be for me. Maybe for you it will be. Maybe your wife, if you haven't lost her and pushed her far enough away yet, there's a chance to salvage it. But it becomes a point where you can't salvage it. And at that point you have to realize, okay, so what am I going to do? Am I going to drink myself to death? Am I going to ruin whatever other years I have left? Or am I going to change my life and worry about me, not about everybody else?
Jim, you mentioned calling Alcoholics Anonymous, right? So is that the only thing you did, or did you do a program?
No, I called Alcoholics Anonymous, excuse me, and then I went to some, I know it was on a Sunday morning I called, and I ended up going to a meeting that night, and then I went to meeting the next night, and the fear of going into that meeting, I can still remember. That's why I know what it's like to come into here, the fear, you know. People that know I'm an alcoholic. I'd go to the bar and park on the sidewalk outside the bar. That wouldn't bother me, but you get me going to an AA meeting, I'll park 2 blocks away because I don't want anybody to know I drink. I mean, how stupid am I? But that's a typical alcoholic, I believe. But that wasn't all I did. That was the start of it. I went to AA, and AA is fine, depending, I believe, how far down you've gone. And one thing about AA is kind of like, you know, talking about Christ. It's not Christ to have an issue with, it's his, you know, his fan club. And it's the same with AA. Every meeting's different, every group's different. They might help you, might not help you. I think that's I love AA, and I go even today, or NA too. But that isn't my whole life. I needed more than I could get on one meeting a week. I needed something else. I needed a kick in the ass. So I went to a day treatment in the Vernon Treatment Center. And it was just a day treatment, and it's the same program we offer here 27 years later. So I know it works. So that's how that come about.